Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Al Jazeera reports that at least 12 people, including a child, have been killed in southern Lebanon due to continued Israeli strikes, despite an ongoing U.S.-brokered ceasefire. 8 of the victims died in Habaush in the Nabatee district on Friday, with 8 others, including a child and a woman, wounded. Civilian defense teams described dramatic scenes, with residential buildings completely flattened. Another 4 people were killed in attacks near Tyre and Nabatee, and Israel also demolished houses, a convent, and a school. Israeli forces issued an evacuation order for Habaush residents shortly before the strikes, though they had attacked the town a day earlier without warning. While Israel claims its attacks target Hezbollah, a significant number of those killed have been civilians. Hezbollah has responded with attacks on Israeli forces and vehicles within Lebanon, specifically targeting a Merkava tank and soldiers in Sour. According to Lebanon's Ministry of Public Health, 2,618 people have been killed and 894 wounded since hostilities escalated on March 2. The ceasefire, announced on April 17th, has been extended to May 17th but continues to be violated. Al Jazeera reports that Iranian human rights activist and 2023 Nobel Peace Prize laureate Narges Mohammadi has been transferred from prison to a hospital due to a sharp decline in her health. Her foundation announced on Friday that Mohammadi had experienced 2 episodes of complete loss of consciousness and a severe cardiac crisis. This urgent transfer was deemed necessary after prison doctors determined her condition could not be managed on site. Despite previous recommendations for her to be treated by a specialized team in Tehran, Mohammadi, 53, has been imprisoned since December 12th and was believed to have suffered a heart attack in late March. Her lawyers noted she appeared pale and underweight, requiring nursing assistance to walk. Her family previously stated in February that her health was worsening due to an alleged beating during her December arrest. The Nobel Committee has condemned her ongoing life-threatening mistreatment. NPR reports that the ongoing Iran war is significantly impacting the global economy. The conflict is directly contributing to a substantial surge in energy costs worldwide, creating ripple effects across various markets. As a result, fears of a potential global recession are growing among economists and financial observers. The article highlights that this geopolitical fallout from the war is fundamentally reshaping not only energy markets, but also influencing everyday prices for consumers globally, underscoring the broad and profound economic consequences of the conflict. A Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing highlighted China's growing role in suspected undersea cable sabotage, prompting warnings from lawmakers and experts, NTD News reported. Citing parallels between incidents in the Baltic Sea, linked to Russia, and recent cable cuts around Taiwan, senators called for a more assertive deterrence posture from the United States and its allies. Senator Jim Risch stated the Chinese military has researched cable-cutting technologies, while Senator Jean Shaheen noted similar vulnerabilities in the Indo-Pacific. Witnesses emphasized the asymmetric cost of conflict, where targeting critical undersea infrastructure is a high-impact, low-cost tactic. Concerns were also raised about Chinese companies involved in global cable manufacturing. Policy discussions centered on the Strategic Subsea Cables Act of 2026, a bipartisan bill aimed at creating new sanctions authorities and requiring annual intelligence assessments to treat subsea cables as strategic national security assets. According to Zio Sabah, U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, Assistant Director Brett Leatherman warned on April 30 that Chinese state-sponsored cyber attackers who long believed they could evade legal consequences by remaining within China can no longer rely on that assumption. This warning comes as Chinese hacker Chu Zhuwei was extradited from Italy to the United States to face trial. A move the U.S. emphasizes sends a clear signal to global hackers. Once they travel across borders, their previous sanctuary will cease to exist. Chu Zhuwei, 34, was arrested by Italian police in Milan last July during a tourist visit and formally extradited to the U.S. on April 27. He is currently held in a federal detention center in Houston, Texas, awaiting further hearings. According to the indictment, Chu was directed by officials from China's Ministry of State Security Shanghai branch between 2020 and 2021, operating through Shanghai Xi'an Network Technology Development Co. Crao, Limited, as a hacker outsourcer. He allegedly launched large-scale cyber espionage against multiple U.S. universities, medical research institutions, and a Washington, D.C. law firm. Chu faces charges including wire fraud, unauthorized computer intrusion, and aggravated identity theft, potentially leading to over 2 decades in prison. The U.S. views this case as a concrete countermeasure against state-sponsored cyber attack activities. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.